This video is brought to you by Scopic.com. Get yours now.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Phil from Education.com, and this is the LG's new flagship G6. Following the not the most successful G5, here's the G6. It's a tad smaller than the V20, but packs a lot of features that the V20 bears. So let's dive right in. This is a Korean version, so depending on the region you purchase the phone in, you might be getting different things included in the package. Anyway, here it is. It comes in 3 different colors: Astro Black, Mystic White, and Silver. I forgot the name. But anyway, those fancy named 3 colors. And here is a little quick guide. Not exactly spectacular, but as the name says, quick guide. And here's a little carrier voucher, and here is a little charger, which does support the quick charge 9 volts 1.8A or the 5 volts 1.8A. So it says fast charge right there. And here is a USB Type-C cable, of course, because it's got a USB Type-C port built in right there. I like LG's cable. They're quite dependable, but anyway, that's just a cable. And here's a little replaceable cap for your earphones, saying that earphones are also included, which I presume the American versions are not going to have it. As always, American versions do not have the earphones included. And this is what it looks like. It's not that fancy B&O marked earphones that was included in the V20, but it still has those fabric finishes, so it doesn't tangle as much as those rubber ones. Here's the earphones, and here is a little converter for your USB Type-C port. If you have a lot of old chargers or the cable, you can use that via this adapter. And another thing also included is a USB Type-C to USB Type-A OTG adapter. So you can use this to transfer your old files to the new phone, or to use a USB flash drive, mice, and keyboards if you wish to. And here's a little SIM card removable pin right there if you want to swap your SIM cards or install microSD card in that matter. So the phone itself, LG calls it the big screen small phone, and there's a lot of differences that LG has made here. Well, rather a lot of things that LG has sort of, they call it fixed, that they got wrong from the G5. So let's dive right in. Let's remove the sticker on the back first before we get to, and there we go. So it's got a 5.7 inches of a QHD+. It's an 18:9 ratio. If 2:1 is your word, then you can call it that way too. And here's a little screen protector that we can take apart. There we go. Now we are with the full glory of the full vision display. That's what LG calls it. It does support Dolby Display and HDR right on that panel. So let's power on while we're telling more about the phone. Aside from that, it's got a 5 megapixels of a camera, which is wide angle, receiver, and this display, of course. And you can see that each of the corners are slightly curved, and right under that is an LG logo. If you're wondering about that impressive screen to body ratio, here's a G4, and you can see how much slimmer the bezels got. If you're wondering about a bigger phone or the phone that had the same screen size, here's a V10, and you can see with the same screen size how much bezels that they have cut through, although there's a difference in the ratio. Moving on to the left, we got a volume rocker and the little antenna slit right there, meaning that it's a full metal phone without the detachable battery. The battery is not replaceable unlike the previous LG phones, so you do not have access to the battery door. Instead, this is IP68 water and dust resistant. And on top of that, it's also mil-spec certified, so if you want more resistance on your phone, here you got one. Getting back to the right side, it's got a SIM card and microSD card slot right there, USB Type-C port on the bottom, and a speaker grill along with the microphone antenna slit there. And to the rear, where LG was particularly proud of, 2 13 megapixel cameras, one wide angle and one normal angle, and power key that doubles as a fingerprint reader, G6 logo, and what you see curiously over here says Hi-Fi 32-bit DAC. This is Asian market exclusive. I'm not exactly sure which of the markets are included, but South Korean models are definitely one of them. Instead, American models are getting the wireless charging, and some CIS regions are getting 64 gig storage, and European models are unfortunately known to have none of those. Enough with exteriors, let's go to the interior with these settings. Okay, we're done with the settings, and here is the launcher. So LG has got this new user interface. It's the LG UX 6.0, I believe. And just like the previous models, it does not have the app drawer. So you have your apps lining up there. If you don't like it that way, you can of course install a third-party launcher, or LG themselves provide you with the launcher with the app drawer, so you can switch to that. The icons are more colorful in the settings, as I see right there. And if you don't like that, you can change to the list view, which is the way that I prefer. It's got an Android Nougat, so you can swipe from the side to quickly launch up the menu, or you can double tap that twice to quickly go to your previous app, or you can tap and hold on that to open a split view multitasking. Hardware-wise, it's not exactly a full of surprises. It's got a Snapdragon 821 quad-core processor, 4 gigs of RAM, and 3,300 milliamps of battery. But LG is mentioning that it's a reliable battery. They went through thousands of testings. And as a surprise, this is the first phone to have the Google Assistant built in, aside from Google's own Pixel phones. And it does have the 3.5mm headphone jack, and LG has proudly mentioned that they focused on the basic things that you expect from a smartphone. So that's the LG G6. It's not exactly a very traditional approach as an LG phone. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or if that's a bad thing. But LG is counting a lot on it, and I will be trying to tell you as much as possible about this new flagship and very Optimus G-ish looking smartphone. If you're wondering about my very first opinion, it looks gorgeous. It looks pretty good as an LG phone. It looks amazing. But we'll have to give it a try in real life and see what happens with the 3,300 mAh of battery, if opting into a built-in battery with waterproof was a good idea. We'll tell you more on upcoming videos. This was LG G6. Thank you all for watching. You can meet us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and we will surely see you later. Ciao.